Hello everyone, I'm so glad you could join me today because I want to show you the prettiest spring card that I put together. I also put a sentiment on it that says Happy Easter, but it doesn't have to say Happy Easter. And this is the card, and I used the Pretty Pop-Up dies. So this has a really cute 3D kind of image to it. Uh, excuse me. And I don't think there are that many, I shouldn't say this, but I haven't seen all that many cards using the pop-up dies, or maybe when it was in the beginning when it was first released. But now that we're heading toward the release of the 2023 annual catalog, some of the products from the current catalog are getting a bit forgotten. So I decided that I wanted to dig this one out, and because it's going to be spring, and I thought it would be a great time to make the card. So I'm going to flip the camera and we'll get right to it. And you're going to see this is a super easy card to make. So let's get to it. All right, so here's another view of the card. So as you can see, it's really very 3D because the images pop up. And a little dragonfly, some flowers, some leaves, and a butterfly. And then I put some gem dots on it. I think, what did I use? I think I used like the pearl gem dots, which I'm going to have to dig out because I put them somewhere. Oh, here they are. And I've already been, like you can see, I've been coloring them with the Stampin' Blends to get them the color I wanted. So we'll be using some of those because I put them in a few spots. So let me tell you what is involved in making this card. I made the card base a Highland Heather, typical A2 card size. It is cut at 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I scored it at 4.25. So let me get my bone folder. I'm going to fold it. And the reason we burnish it, for those who don't know, you want to give it a nice crisp edge. That's why we do it. And this is going to be a landscape card, so it's going to open like this. And then for the next layer, which is a cut at 5.25 by 4, so it's just 1/4 inch smaller than the layer below, and that's how we do it in card making. You just make it 1/4 inch smaller. So if I put another equivalent layer, I might cut it at 5 inches by 3 3/4, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So this piece I I embossed it with the Pretty Flowers Embossing Folder. So I don't know if you can see. So really pretty. You can see it better in the photo on the cover of the embossing folder. That's what the image that it gives you. And I thought, you know, spring flowers. I'm not coloring it, but that's an option that you could do. You could take your blending brushes, swipe it over your ink pads, and give it a color wash. So I just chose to keep it white. So I'll tack this down in a minute, but let me show you the next layers. So then I used the Scalloped Contour Dies from the Color and Contour. Well, it's not a bundle anymore, I don't think, but it's so you get the stamp set, which is, you know, flowers and all that. Well-loved stamp set, as you can see. And then the dies are super nice. You get a couple of flower dies that coordinate with the stamps, but then you get these other dies. So you get a border die, and then you get these scallop dies, which are awesome. So for this particular layer, I used the third one, the third largest. So this one, it's that one. So the third largest scallop die. I love those dies. They're so versatile. Oh, let me put my little paper back in the case. Don't want to lose that. All right, so then that's going to go, that'll go onto the next layer. And then this is where you would do your die cutting with the pop-up dies. Just take it out of the case. So I'll show you what the pop-up, this is what the pop-up dies look like. You get a circle, you get a little rectangle, which is the one that we're going to use, and then you get an oval. And they all do the same thing, and then you get additional little dies as well that you can do some additional embellishing of your card. So this particular one is the one that we're going to use. And let's see, I cut a piece at, let me just remind myself, 3 1/4 inches wide by, and I'll have the measurements, by the way, in the description below and on my blog. So 3 1/4 by 2, right? Is that what I said? 3 1/4 by 2. All right, so if you do that, then you take your rectangle die and put it onto the, just put it across the center of your paper and die cut it. So that's it. You're going to keep the size of it. So this size will fit exactly in the center, and that's why I cut it at 3 1/4 by 2, because I measured the inside of the die, and that will fit right into the center of your scalloped layer. Now, what we'll do now, obviously I'm not going to be doing any die cutting because I already did that. What I think really made this pop was the fact that I used my Stampin' Blends. Let me move this over. Some Stampin' Blends to color in the die, some of the pop-up pieces of it. Now, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I keep mine, well, it's a little gross, but because I've had it this a while. This is a pencil case that I bought at the dollar store, right? So just bought a regular old, which is like, you're not $1 anymore, obviously, it's $1.25. And I took the, so when you get your Take Your Pick tool, when you buy it, it comes in a little plastic tray. Now, what I had to do, now it has little sides to it, right? Little sides. But what I found was it was a little bit long for the pencil case. So all I had to do was use my scissors to trim a little bit off the top to get it close to the little well. And then I cut a little bit off the bottom, same thing, up to the well. And doing that allowed me to fit the tray perfectly into the pencil case and then close it. Now you can also, I've also seen people decorate these with designer series paper, which I might do now that this is getting a little dirty, so I might do that. Now the well underneath it, because this, you know, these flaps make it sit up a little higher, and you can put the additional tools. So I have the brush tool that you can get the little bits and pieces of die cut pieces out of it. So just so you know, if you're in the dollar store, or the next time you're in the dollar store, and if you have a Take Your Pick tool, just grab one and cut the ends off, put it in there, and there you go. All right, so now that I've done that, I forgot to take your pick tool out. All right, so what you'll want to do is, and if you have one of the old Stampin' Up, let's see if I have it, the old Stampin' Up piercing tools. Oh, I think I packed it for a card class I'm going to today, so I don't have it in my drawer. But Stampin' Up! Used to sell like a piercing tool. So if you have one of those, it's the same thing. So what I did is I had popped up some of these pieces to make it easier to color so that I didn't get the color onto the white part. So and then you can do the same thing by just folding it a little bit and popping up the, popping up the pieces that you want. You don't have to color every single piece. Or rather, I should say, no, you do want to color them. You may not want to pop up all the pieces, because I didn't. I colored all of them, but I didn't pop some of these smaller ones I did not pop up. So I'm just going to do this with my fingers, actually. And then once they're colored and they're tacked down, I may have to go back and pop them up with my take your pick tool, because it will tend to flatten out when you've been coloring it. So we may have to pop them up. And then in that case, having the take your pick tool or your piercing tool can be helpful. Okay. So I'm going to start with, look at this, has been happening a lot lately. I don't know if you've been experiencing it. I had to order a new one. The color tumbler has been popping out of it completely. Now, it's still colors, but it's aggravating me. So I decided, and I know I'm not the only one. It's still colors, but I decided to order a new one. I've had it for a million years, so I think I've had this one at least 4 years, maybe 5. All right, so this is the light Highland Heather, and it's still coming out dark, but I'm going to do the light Highland Heather on it. And then when I'm done doing all the coloring, I'm going to put some shimmer on the dragonfly by putting some Wink of Stella, which is for those who don't know, Wink of Stella is a clear glitter brush that will easily add shimmer to your projects. Let me see if I can, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Let me just finish doing this coloring. You know, maybe I'm better off doing the brush. Let me do the other side. Okay. All right. All right, and I did the, as you can see, I did the antenna and the body on the, you know what, this is, the brush on this is crappy too. Oh, what a pain, right? When you're trying, all you're trying to do is make a card, and it's like the product is making it harder than, you know, you're struggling with it. All right, let me just do the body. And the little tail. All right, so I'm not going to use any more Highland Heather. That was it. Now here's the Wink of Stella. It's just this is not a Stampin' Up! Product. It's sold by other companies. You can find it in Michael's. But Stampin' Up! Does sell it, and that Stampin' Up! Does sell other people's products, but at a very limited number. For example, Memento Tuxedo Black Ink, which we all use, is not made by Stampin' Up. But the Wink of Stella, which I think the name is so cute, it's filled with clear glitter ink. And then when you want to use it, you just give it it even says on the side, it probably can't read, it says push. You just give it a squeeze, and then for the first time, and it all comes down the tumbler and onto the brush. Now, Stampin' Up! Only sells the clear glitter brush, but I will tell you that Wink of Stella also, if you buy it at online, you can buy it on Amazon. If you buy it online, and maybe even Michael's, I'm not sure, they do have them in silver and in gold. So just so you know, if that's something that interests you. But the clear glitter does a really good job anyway, so start with that. You just brush it like a little paintbrush, and you get a really pretty shimmer with no effort. So if you like taking your projects up a notch, and you like those cards you see like in the store that seem to have a little glitter, and you're like, how do they do that? Well, guess what? You can do it too. All right, I'm going to give some to the body. And you can go over it as many times as you want, give it more shimmer. Okay, let me close that up. I don't know if shimmer is coming out. I think you can see it, right? You can see some shimmer. Okay, now I want to use a little, let me see. I have my Daffodil Delight. So that's what let me just tell you the colors I used. I used light Highland Heather for the dragonfly. I'm going to use some light Flirty Flamingo for the flowers. I'm using dark soft seafoam for the leaves. I thought the light soft seafoam was a little too light. And then I'm using light Daffodil Delight for the butterfly. So we'll color the butterfly in. This is not difficult coloring. I am no kind of a master colorer. I've said that before in my videos. I'm not the person you'd want to follow if you're looking for coloring techniques. That's not going to be me. All right, so there's the butterfly, and we're going to put a little pearl dot in the middle of that. All right, let me try some pink, and we'll do a little pink in there. This is the light Flirty Flamingo. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I put some on the leaf. That's all right. We'll go back. I'll cover it over with green. Here we go. All right, let's see. No, I left the center white, and I just put a gem dot in it. Now, if you're feeling confident when you do your coloring, you don't have to pop them up first. I just know me, I would probably get the coloring like all over it. And I decided I was probably better off popping it up and trying to color it while it was popped up. But you can decide that for yourself. Let me pop that one up too. Now you can obviously change the color scheme from what I'm using. I'm just using a really kind of spring flower colors. Pinks and purples, you know, once the tulips start coming up. These are the colors that are going to be popping up, you know, with daffodils and all colors, the tulips. All right, this is the soft sea foam. We'll do some leaves. This is like just, you know, coloring, like filling in the blanks. I got a cat here that's whacking at the window behind me, aggravating me. Sorry, kitty. He wants some attention. But I'm doing a video, so I can't give him the attention, so he whacks the window. Okay. That's everything. That's how much coloring you're gonna do. Really, not much. Okay, so I have, again with the Highland Heather, aggravating. Can't wait for my new one to come in so I don't have to keep doing this. All right, I'm gonna color a small gem dot with my Stampin' Blend. And I'm only going to use one, because I only need one for the dragonfly. Let me pick it up. I'm just going to put it right in the center. Now I want to get a pink one. I'll color in, let's see, I want to do 3, and I think I'm going to do the larger ones. And you know what? I think I'm going to use the dark Fleur de Flamingo for the coloring. Yeah, that's better. So use your dark Fleur de Flamingo. Use your dark Stampin' Blends to color in the pearls. You need a little bit more deep coloring to get to color the pearl dots. This is just a great way to color coordinate your project with your gem dots. If you don't have the right color gem dots, just take the pearls and color them in. All right, one goes there. There. And there. And I'm going to do, oh, I already have one in yellow, but you know what, that one is too big. I'm going to do a small one. Oh, again, I think I'm going to use my dark Daffodil Delight. I need a deeper color. Yeah, that's better. and put it onto the butterfly. Okay, that's it. All right, then we will get some gem dots on me. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back. And stick it to my scalloped piece. Right in the center. So if you've cut your piece of basic white, your scrap of basic white at 3 1/4 by 2, then it's going to fit perfectly into that center of the scallop die. Okay. Now, this is where you can, if you want to, or you can do it at the end, take your pick tool or your, if you have the old piercing tool, the Stampin' Up! Piercing tool, you can go back over it and lift up the pieces that you want to be lifted up. So that they look nice and 3D. There we go. Now we can adhere that layer to your embossed layer. Now you can use your adhesive of choice. I just happen to like liquid glue because it gives me the chance to move it around a tiny bit if I need to for like a second or two. And now we can adhere that layer to the card base. Okay, now for the, oh, you know what? Hold on. Oh no, I got it right here. I thought I didn't bring it in here. I have my inside layer, which is also cut at 5 1/4 by 4 standard. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping. And so for the inside, I stamped enjoy all the little moments, and I got that. Oh, we have to do the Happy Easter on the front too, both of which I took from the Easter Bunny stamp set. So there are the two. All right, so why don't we finish the front? And I have Happy Easter, and I'm using Highland Heather ink to keep with the theme. We're going to just trim around it, so it really doesn't matter. Let's see how I do this. Okay, that came out pretty good. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm just going to cut it with my paper snips. And let's see, do I want to do it the same way? Yeah, I do. Okay. And now I'm going to pop it up on some dimensionals. Which I like doing the dimensionals. It's sort of like, gives it a little bit more 3D look to it. Put it down here. Okay. Now we can go to the stamping. And I'm going to grab the, it says, no, I don't want that one. I want enjoy all the little moments. Which, let me see where it is. This is the one. I'm just going to put mine at the top. Leaves room for someone to write their sentiment. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp the dragonfly image, which is from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, and it comes, so there's the, you know, it has 2 dragonfly images, and it also comes with a coordinating punch. Super convenient. Okay, and I'm going to stamp the dragonfly and Highland Heather as well. Just keep it to 1 ink pad, so you're not having to go out and get a whole bunch of ink pads. And if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, each monthly kit comes with an ink spot in a different color every month. There we go. And you can just keep those and use those for your projects. All right, so we can now adhere that. And did you know that if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you don't have to, that you can just purchase one, you know, do a prepaid subscription for 1 month. And so you just go online and you pay for it. You obviously, like you would when you purchase anything, and you're only buying that 1 month's kit. You don't have to commit to a 3 months or a 6 month or a 1 year or an ongoing. You can just buy that one. If there's one that you like, you just buy it, and then you're good to go. There we are. That's it. Pretty quick coming together, but so pretty, so lovely in 3D. A beautiful spring card. If you have the Celebration stamp set called Thanks a Bunch, the one with the carrots, it has a spring sentiment. I can't remember exactly what it says, happy spring or something like that. You could use the sentiment from that stamp set, or you could basically use, you know, any sentiment you want. This is Easter time that I'm making this, so if you're watching this video at some future time when it's not Easter, you obviously don't want to be doing an Easter card. But you can select something from any of your other stamp sets. This would make, I think actually it might make a nice Mother's Day card. I might use this for a Mother's Day card. And that's coming up in a couple of months. So kind of pretty, simple to come together. And I hope you enjoyed it. And these pretty pop-up dies, I think, are fabulous. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you will visit me again. And until next time, thank you very much. Have a great day.